Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at LateNightSportsRadio.com.
KHJ Los Angeles.
Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
Oh, I'm back. All by myself. It's Keith Grieve here from 87 Sports Fans, and this is 87 Sports Fans Live on Late Night Sports Radio. Yes, I am alone without my compatriot, Mr. Stephen Taylor. So you folks are unfortunately sentenced to listening to me drone on about whatever it is I feel I want to talk about. But did you know millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site? One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got a player who's hurt? No problem. Injuries won't derail your shot at victory because it's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes, and you could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000, another turned $2 into $10,000, and a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing football at DraftKings. Head to DraftKings.com now and use promo code Spreaker to play free in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com. All right, folks, and remember the phone number to call in is 585-633-7487. That's 585-633-7487. So if you listen to the show, if you're a regular show, you know the gist, you know the rundown, you know what happens. We bounce around the world of sports for an hour, take a couple breaks, play a couple songs, take some calls if and when they come in. And at the top of the hour, Jim Saranteas, the Fantasy Greek, from thefantasygreek.com, joins me for the NFL Hour. We'll go over last week's games and preview the coming week. And speaking of last week's games, just one little tip. You come here to talk sports as they happen, and the Buffalo Bills have absolutely destroyed the New York Jets. Yes, this happened to take place in Detroit, but it was a Bills home game, 38-3. Whew. Honestly, how much longer can we? Is anybody holding out hope that Rex Ryan can stay employed? I mean, if you're a Jets fan, do you even want him right now? I don't think you do. I mean, regardless of whether you think it's Rex Ryan's fault, what the heck is going on? Sometimes you just need a change of a voice. You know, you need a different face, somebody to grab people's attention. Lovie Smith is not a bad football coach. Lovie Smith didn't make any improvements after a while, refused to deal with the issues that the Bears had. And I'm just using it because it's the number one example of a football coach who may not be a coach. He may end up in the long run being successful with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had success with Chicago. He was a successful head coach. Just couldn't get him over the hump. Well, Rex Ryan came in and the Jets were operating at a very high level, even to the point where he was ready to make that famous preseason prediction that they were going to be Super Bowl champs on the training camp tour bus. Remember that? Well, that didn't work out, and the Jets have been honestly in a free fall ever since. But things haven't gotten better, and he's got a semi-new GM, but they both may be out of a job. And Rex will land on his feet. He may take a year off. He may be a defensive coordinator again. I'm sure he'll get another job sometime somewhere. Because he's not a bad football coach. But the Jets are a bad football team. They never answered the number one question, and that's the quarterback. They thought they did Mark Sanchez, but they never did. They never really did. And after the butt fumble, it was over. Should have just cleaned house after the butt fumble. Anytime you get a legion of fans saying butt fumble over and over again in regards to your team, you should probably just change the team's name. But hey, if the Redskins aren't going to change their name, nobody will. 585-633-7487, 585-633-7487. All right, so I wanted to start the show off with not talking about football, but the game ended, and it was such a lopsided win. I mean, the Bills beating anybody 38-3 is a big deal. And you know what? Good for the people of Buffalo. They've been through hell the last week. A lot of snow. Doesn't even begin to describe it that way. Doesn't do it justice. A lot of people died in the snowstorm from shoveling. Most of them, if not all of them, from heart attacks from shoveling. I mean, that community could use some good news. And yes, I know it's just a football game. It doesn't do anything in the long run, but no doubt some spirits are lifted tonight in Buffalo, so good for them. I will hack on the Bills next week. You get this week as a free pass. That's my gift to you. So the Boston Red Sox making some splashes, eh? When they traded John Lester last season for Yannis Cespedes, I thought it was a good move, but I kind of questioned why. And then the whispers started coming out that Lester was just going to be a free agent in the offseason and he would re-sign with Boston anyway. And then they would come away with the AL's best home run hitter. What a coup. And the verdict on whether Lester ends up a Boston Red Sox may or may not come true. The verdict's still out on that. The jury's still out on that. They went out today and signed Hanley Ramirez and Pablo Sandoval. Now, Pablo Sandoval is a little bit of a baseball nemesis of mine because the man looks like he should not be an athlete. The man looks like he should be on a couch eating ding-dongs, yelling at the TV with crumbs dropping from his mouth, staining his shirt. He should have Cheeto stains on a T-shirt that's too small around that belly of his. But the man plays some good baseball. He does a disservice to the argument of baseball players being athletes, quite honestly, but so did John Kruk. 585-633-7487. But the Red Sox, they have issues. I mean, there's no denying that the Red Sox had a lot of issues when you lose 91 games. There's just no other way to put it. I mean, 71 and 91, they were, let's see, I actually did some research tonight for you folks. Second to last in the American League in slugging percent, in OPS. They had the third most runners left on base for the season in the American League. So, you know, they obviously need to score runs. Now, the question that I have is that, you know, Sandoval is an infielder. The third base hasn't really been shored up, in my opinion, for the Red Sox. Will Middlebrooks, I guess, you could say that. I guess he was injured, only played 63 games. I take that back. But where's Sandoval going to play? First base? Is Hanley Ramirez going to play first base? Mike Napoli has 1 year left on his contract. You still have Big Papi. There's a whole lot of names here. Okay, you still got Cespedes, obviously. The outfield is crowded with Mookie Betts, Shane Victorino, Daniel Nava, Jackie Bradley. Where are these guys going to play? So the Red Sox are not done. They can't be done. They cannot go into spring training with this roster. And I'll agree with the predictors. I can't call it my prediction, but it does make sense that they got to be packaging bodies for a pitcher. And the big rumor is Cole Hamels, who came off a season where his came away with a 6.6 WAR rating, which is in the All-Star neighborhood, and he's going to be 31 next year. So that a move like that would make sense. being a Mets fan, you have all this young pitching. We've been down this road before, Mets fans. Remember? You remember. I know you remember. Isringhausen, Pulsifer, and Wilson. None of them panned out. All of them got injured. It's nice when grooming young pitching works out. It's bad when you trade that young pitching for not Victor Martinez. Who was the guy from Tampa Bay that the Mets dealt Scott Kazmir for? I gotta look this up. It's Victor something. I can't remember. Gotta find it. Google. Victor's, no. They acquired Victor Zambrano and Chris Benson. And the Mets traded Scott Kazmir. So, and then Victor Zambrano went out and suffered a career-ending injury. Chris Benson was most famous for his wife. But if you're smart and you're the Mets and you've got Harvey coming back from Tommy John surgery, and yes, we don't know what he will be, but let's just assume he'll be serviceable. You've got Harvey, Wheeler, Neese, G, Syndergaard. You've got some arms to trade. And what's the one thing the Mets really need? And that's an outfielder that can score runs. And if Yoenis Cespedes makes his way to Citi Field, you will see me do the biggest happy dance. I don't care how that sounds. I don't care what you're going to do to judge me here. I will do the biggest happy dance you have ever seen in your entire life. 585-633-7487. 585-633-7487. So the Red Sox, they were 10th in ERA, 11th in runs allowed, 11th in earned runs, 8th in strikeouts. They need a little bit of everything. They have a glut of outfielders and not enough pitching. Clay Buchholz, 29 years old. If Lester comes back, he'll be 31 next year. Lackey's 35. Ruby De La Rosa and Brandon Workman, both 25. They're the youth movement, if you will. Something's got to give in Boston. And even though it was a down season for the Yankees, they still won 84 games. A down season for the Yankees is an 84-win season. Okay. The Blue Jays made a nice move by getting Russell Martin. The Orioles, Nick Markakis is a free agent. I don't know how important he is to the grand scheme of things there. Boston's got to be a big player too. Can't sit still, and they're not. Let's talk about to the Oakland A's fans, if there's any in the audience. How are you feeling grabbing Ike Davis, a guy that couldn't figure it out in New York? Went to Pittsburgh in a trade. They designate him for assignment. Oh, we'll take him. A's want to trade him. So you go from Yoenis Cespedes to Ike Davis in 2 trades. Feel bad for you. So looking at the remaining free agents in Major League Baseball. Hey, Ichiro's still out there, 41 years old. Jason Giambi, 44. Good luck. I love these lists at baseballreference.com. I sorted the free agent list by career wins above replacement. So you get Ichiro right at the top. Nick Markakis already has the 8th highest WAR among the free agents. Hanley Ramirez was 5th. Pablo Sandoval, 11th. Career 294 hitter Sandoval is. 811 OPS for his career. Has struck out more than he's walked. There's not any real big bats on the free agent market.